everyone, my name is Equality and welcome back to another Paralives video. Today I have for you something special and it's going to be my first ever speed build in this game. I'm not really sure how this is gonna go because recording this is kinda difficult, I guess. But we're gonna make it work somehow. So the lot that I picked out is this lot that is kind of squished in between these two houses. I feel like this is the lot that everyone has been most excited to build on, just because this is a concept that we that we've never been able to do in The Sims. To just build a a house that is squished in between two other houses that kind of like blends in. Anyways, I was so excited to do this, and since this is the first time I'm like really messing around with the tools of the game, everything is taking really long. As you can see, this whole video is 35 minutes long, although I already sped it up to ×4 speed, mostly because, like I said, this is the first time that I was messing around with a bunch of things and trying to figure out how things work. You can see that I kind of decided for the general shape of the house, like the ground floor of the house, and I wanted to do a little landing in the front that kind of is on the same height as the other building, and then I wanted to connect it with a staircase, and I didn't know how to do that because in The Sims the stairs pretty much snap on to the landing that you have, but in this game that didn't happen, so I was not sure how this even worked, and I was trying to figure that out for so long, and I just couldn't, for the love of it, couldn't figure out how to do it. And I had to look up some videos, I had to look up some things, and then I finally found out that you can literally change the size or like the height of the stairs with a pin. Like you can drag it up and down, and that decides the height of the staircase, and then you can just plop it against any wall that you want, which is still absolutely insane to me. Um, but it's so cool. Like everything that is possible in this game is crazy. And then I tried it out even with a parafolk to make sure that it works, and it did work. So I feel like the possibilities are really almost endless in this game. Then I also plopped down a staircase inside to go to the second floor, and I tried to create a little layout for the second floor. I wanted the second floor to be a little bit bigger than the first floor. As you can see in the first or the ground floor, I also tried to leave some space in the back for like a little yard space almost. It's mostly gonna be the bins there, and then maybe, I don't know, just to have a bit of garden and also to play with the vegetation a bit and not completely mess that up. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea. And then the second floor is a little bit bigger because it kind of overarches the garden, the backyard space. And then I also wanted it to have a third floor, and on the third floor I also wanted to have like a little balcony area, which I was so excited for because I don't know, it's such a cool idea to me. And then when I had the general layout done, I also placed those railings for where I wanted the balcony to be, and then also this little extra balcony area that I had on the second floor. I just didn't really know what to do with that, but I thought I'll just figure that out later. And then I tried to figure out a floor plan for the third floor. As you can see here, I wanted there to be a bedroom area, and then maybe a little bit of a landing, I guess, where the staircase is. So maybe there's a little bit of extra room. Um, this is quite small, as you can see, but it's going to become a little bit bigger later because at some point I decided to also expand that area a little bit because I thought it's just too small. And then I was messing around with the stairs a little bit because I don't know. I feel like the staircases in this game still confuse me a little bit. It's crazy what you can do with them. And then also sometimes there's still a few bugs happening here and there. As you can see here, the floor kind of just deleted itself, and I didn't know why that happened. I was trying to somehow get around that, so I decided, okay, let me just make the other room a little bit bigger. So there's going to be a bedroom and a bathroom there. Then on the second floor, I was trying to look at this for so long, but I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do there. Would I also turn this little balcony thing into an actual balcony, or would I just leave that because there's really not a lot of space? In the end, I think I just kept it like that. Um, but yeah, cool. I kind of went for a more modern industrial style, I think. At least that's what I wanted to do. I don't know how well I pulled that off in the end, but that's what I wanted to go for. And then I was trying to find a way to put the roof, and I already knew that putting the roof is going to be so tough. Actually, now that I look at the other houses, I see that they have kind of dynamically shaped roofs as well. I wonder how that is possible. There's still this option where you can toggle advanced widgets, which, like I said in my other video, doesn't really do anything for me. If anyone knows how to do that, how to toggle that on, and how to make like more dynamic roofs like the one that is right next to that, please let me know, because I would love to know. But because I wasn't really sure, I decided I'm gonna go for these rounded roofs, because I I just felt like that was a kind of a cool idea. And then also put just a half gabled roof on the other side. I have this flat one right now, but I decided to change it because it felt a little bit too flat for me in the end. And then, of course, I wanted to also go with a stone. I didn't want to choose one of the stones that the houses next to it has, because I felt like that would be too obvious. So I wanted to have a different type of stone that also looks a little bit more modern, but also not too out of place. And then I was trying to find a perfect, how do you call these? Like the stone thing at the bottom of it. I think the stone one was pretty cool. And then I also um, put a molding. Is that it? I think so. Just to just to give it a little bit more detail. Tried around with that a little bit as well. Um, and until I was happy with that, and I think I found a pretty good combination in the end, which looked natural. I would say. Um, but yeah, like I said, this whole thing is going to be a little bit more modern slash industrial. Everything else is kind of just tried out, seeing what possibilities I have, what can I do in this game, um, messing around with the roofs more, and yeah, doing speed builds is always kind of hard for me because I feel like I need to ramble about for a really long time, and I don't really know what to say. Like I like talking, if it's a topic that I know a lot about. But when I feel like I don't know what I'm saying, I get kind of nervous. I guess I guess that's everyone though, right? So yeah, but so far I'm really loving this game. Sadly, I didn't even have the time to play it that often, because I feel like if I play this game, I want to have time to play the game, and if I start building something, I want to build and then be able to finish the build and not have to stop in the middle of it. Um, Oh, speaking of the roofs, one thing that I realized, it is not possible to change the color of the roof trim, right? Because all of them are white, and also when I look around to the other houses, every roof trim is white. Excuse me. There's no way to change that, right? If there is, please let me know. But I didn't find an option to do that, which was kind of sad. And then for this place, for the space at in the top floor, I wanted to have some smaller windows, so I had to try to figure out which ones I can do, because not every window is you you cannot size every window down all the way. But then I saw some videos the past couple days where you can basically freely change the sizes of things, even more to how it already is, which is insane to me. But I don't know where to find that yet. You can also let me know in the comments if you know how to turn that on. But I did not make use of those here. I just used the normal tools that there is. I also didn't want to do too crazy things. I just wanted to build a house with the features that the game offers and see how far I can push everything. And then, as you can also see here, I put another staircase in the back to get into the backyard. And I also wanted to have a door that leads there, like a glass door. And then, of course, we also put a front door, and then I put a little room in the back behind the staircase, which is going to be just a bathroom. So in my head, I already kind of figured out how I wanted the layout to be. I wanted to have a kitchen and a bathroom at the bottom floor, and then a living room in the second floor, and then a bedroom and a bathroom on the top floor, and of course the balcony there as well. How I was going to furnish them, I had no idea yet, but all of that came together quite nicely in the end, I would say. Um, so next thing here is the window situation in the living room. I was unsure how I was gonna do that. At first, I was thinking to put a one big window there, but then I felt like it was a little bit too much. So I decided not to do that and put two smaller ones there, which I think is fine. And then put a big window on the other side where the bedroom is, and also underneath it where the living room is gonna be. And then I could also copy these two windows at to the ground floor, and also on the other side of the living room where the staircase is. And I just felt like that made a lot of sense. I was really struggling with the wallpaper here because, like I said, I wanted it to feel a little bit industrial. But one thing that I already have to complain about is I feel like I don't have enough options for wall paint and floor, especially wood floor and like stone or tile wall things. So I was struggling a little bit with that, but in the end, I kind of went with something like a combination that I liked. I really was thinking about also putting stone walls inside, but I just felt like it was a little bit too much. Maybe it could have worked, but I I don't know. I just felt like it was too much, so I decided against that in the end and just used like normal wallpaper, just one color that I could put everywhere, and just have one accent wall being the wall where the staircase is, and choose a more rustic looking wood floor, a little bit more rustic looking, I guess. And then also the area in between or from staircase to staircase, I wasn't really sure what to do there. I felt like a fence, maybe. I don't know. I just felt like there needed to be something there because it looks weird. I didn't really want to put a wall because I also thought that would be weird. But yeah, you're gonna see me trying around with a bunch of things here. Um, Maybe I should have gone with this with the stones in the bottom. Maybe did I leave those stones in the first floor? Maybe I did. Huh. Huh. Maybe I did. Anyways, um yeah, so Paralives has been out for a couple weeks now, and people have been releasing a lot of content already. Um of course, I know that that's why my videos have not been getting a lot of traction, because there's so many people making videos about it, which is okay. It's fine. Um, I'm gonna still try. And I'm gonna try to do at least one video a week. I was thinking I already made a video about mods, which is probably going to be the next video. But since there is only gonna be one Paralives video this week and it's Sunday, I thought, okay, let's do something special. I recorded this me building this last week, and I had the footage of this lying around, and I was like, okay, maybe I should do something with that. So I now I'm here and I'm doing this because I thought that this would make for good content. And here you can see me struggling with the living room area again, because like I said, I had no idea how I'm gonna do this. But in the end, I just figured, okay, I'm just probably gonna leave it open. Like, leaving it open probably makes the most sense. Like, we don't need another wall there to split up the area even more, because it already feels quite narrow, I guess. So you're going to see me trying around with walls, but there's not going to be a wall in the end, because it's just no, no. There was no space. There was no space for a wall. But yeah, now that I had the whole layout done, I felt comfortable starting with the furniture. And we started with the first floor, and we did the kitchen, and I decided to go with this kitchen set, and I wanted the kitchen to be green. I don't know why. Maybe because I was a little bit inspired by our actual kitchen renovation in real life. We kind of want to change our kitchen in real life, and we decided to go for a green. And so I also wanted to make a green kitchen in this game, because this is also going to be the new home for my two paras down there, which is me and my boyfriend. So this was purely a house made for those two paras. And so I made most of the decision based on what I would want in real life. And I don't know if there's a better option to deal with corners like that and kitchen counters. If there is, please let me know, because it's not a 90-degree angle, but I still want the counter to be like that, so they're glitching a little bit, which is okay, but I feel like it could be more elegant. And then I put just a little round table there in this nook. I felt like that's probably the perfect nook for a dining table. And then I also realized that there's not a lot of space for the kitchen. It would be a lot better if there was no door to the backyard, but we need that. So what I did was I made the counter on one side a little bit smaller, and then I put a fridge there. And I felt like, okay, this has to be enough space for a kitchen. I mean, it should be enough space, right? For a sink and a stove. I think it's enough space. And then I also changed the countertops to be a more marble thing. I love the fact that you can go in and customize everything to a really fine detail, and even change the material of um different parts of furniture. For example, you have this counters here, and you have the wooden part, and then you have the countertops, and you can decide what material the countertop should be. So I just decided to go for this white marble, because I don't know, a I have a fable for that. No, not a fable. What is it called? I just love it. I think it's cool. I think white marble countertops are nice. And then for this bathroom, on the bottom floor, I thought of putting a shower there in this corner at first, but then I felt like, does it really make sense to have a shower at the bottom floor if there's just the kitchen there, and then on the second floor there's gonna be the living room? Like, I feel like you would never use this shower in real life. So I decided to scoot the staircases back a little bit more to create a bit more space there, and then just put the toilet in that corner, because that just felt like the more logical decision. And then of course also put a little sink there against the wall and a mirror, just so that it doesn't collide with the door too much. I thought this bathroom was kind of big, but in the end, it turned out to be kind of smaller than I thought. Like the whole house turned out to be smaller than I thought. I definitely still need to understand the sizes in this game. Like most of the time, I feel like the rooms are kind of big, but then they turn out to be smaller than expected. So yeah, I definitely need to um, fiddle around with that a bit more and get a better understanding of the sizes. Like even with here in the top floor and the bedroom, there was barely any space for a double bed. I mean, it did fit, but it was kind of snug, and that's also why I decided, okay, I'm just gonna make the top floor a little bit bigger, um, which you're gonna see in a second, just to have a bit more space there. And also I felt like there's more space to the back, and maybe it will make the house look even more dynamic. Kind of cool, I guess. that um yeah. What else can I say? I have been doing quite a lot lately. um After like I'm still kind of recovering from my surgery, but also at the same time I feel like I'm already good mostly, but like the recovery time is not over yet. um so but I've been going back to work, and I also felt like I want to try pushing this YouTube thing even more. So that's why I've also been posting more videos again lately. um because I just feel like it's important to me. I like it. It's fun, and I just, yeah, I don't know, I like to share my journey, my gaming journey with people. I guess I don't really know how to explain this better. I like to share. So yeah, that's why I've been kind of more active again lately. um I hope you enjoyed that. I'm trying to do at least 3 videos a week now, which I think with the games that I'm doing does kind of work. Like I can manage to do one Paralives video a week, one My Hero video a week, and then one Baldur's Gate video a week. I feel like that's pretty good. And then even if there's other things, I can also like just put them in between if if there's some space, you know. Quickly back to the house. Uh, as you can see, the I made the area a little bit bigger. Now the bedroom is a bit bigger. There's space there on the landing where the staircase is to put another room. That is going to end up being my little office there, where I would love to do my YouTube stuff, and you're also gonna see me turning it into like a little gaming area, I guess, later on. And I also already did the bathroom. The bathroom ended up being also a bit smaller than I expected. I thought that on 2 tiles, like what the game counts as 2 tiles, would be enough for a bathtub, but apparently it was not. So I couldn't fit like a bath shower combo, even though I would have wanted to do that. So what I did instead was I put a shower, and then I put a divider in between the shower and the sink, and then have the toilet by the window, kind of similar to how it was downstairs. And then I could make this bed a little bit bigger, and I added some nightstands next to the bed. And this bed that I choose, I felt like was really really nice. I kind of enjoy this yellow and green color combination that I went for. And then I was also surprised that I could still fit a TV in that room. And then I there was no space for a dresser in this room, but then I found this clothes rack, and I thought putting it next to the window there would be kind of cool. It's just this game makes me think of ways to put furniture that I've never thought before, I guess, because that area there was so small that I would probably never put anything like that, even like, especially to block the window. But I felt like the way that the clothes rack is, like the fact that it's just partially blocking it and just a little bit, makes it fit so well in that space. And yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's cool. It's cool how it just makes me rethink things and makes me um how to say that, try to think of ways to make furniture fit in other ways than I normally would. I think that's really cool. So the bedroom was pretty much complete. I also put a picture above the bed as normal, I guess. And then, as you can see here, I went ahead and did my desk, and of course, we changed everything to be in a yellow theme because you know me, my favorite color, yellow. Equality is yellow. I'm really riding that yellow wave lately. Like there's a wedding coming up of some friends of mine, and I'm probably also gonna wear something yellow for that. I'm I bought some yellow clothes or a yellow shirt especially for that, and I'm kind of excited for it because I don't know, like yellow has been my favorite color for so long, but I never really embraced it that much because I felt like I love this color, but in most occasions it just it's a very stark color also. It's like very vibrant and very um eye catchy, I guess. And I was never really the person to do that. So I kind of avoided wearing yellow, but now I'm just fully going for it because I love it. I just love it. I love how it looks on me. I love how it makes me feel. So I'm embracing the yellow all the way. And as you can see, what I did here, I placed a um like a shelf behind the desk, and I put a bunch of like figurines and stuff on it because I felt like that's what a lot of people would do. I mean, you can kind of see one of my bookshelves there. There's like a Mario figure there, but this is actually my main shelf here. I kind of wish it would be turned the other way so you could see. But there's like a bunch of figures in this spot, and then also in like this area. This is like my boyfriend's, and this is my area, and there's a bunch of like all of my Black Clover Funko Pops in there as well. So that's that, and I tried to kind of get everything out of the space there that I could. That's why I put another a little shelf there at the top and put some books on top of it, and then also placed a few more things in the shelf, and also of course some bedside lamps, which for some reason are so huge also in this game. So I had to size them down a little bit, and then of course we needed some overhead lamps. And then I had the kitchen done, I had the bathrooms done, I had the bedroom done. So it was basically time to take care of the living room. And until that point I still had no idea how I was going to do it. So I was just like, okay, let's just play some things down, see what I feel, and then maybe I can figure something out. And I wanted to place this parakia sofa couch thing from the CC that I downloaded in my mods video. Check that out once it's out. But there was no way to resize it, so I didn't really like that. So I did not pick that. I picked a different couch that just looked kind of um generic, I guess, generic but modern, and a little console table and a TV over it, of course. And then we also needed a little couch table, and then I also wanted to have the couch be white. And then I realized that I also didn't really like the material that the couch was in, so I also changed that a little bit. In general, I feel like when it comes to materials in this game, I'm struggling a little bit because obviously this game is not hyper realistic, so the materials also don't really reflect how they would look in real life, if that makes sense. Like it's more of a cartoony vibe, like a half cartoony, half realistic kind of thing. So the materials, even though they are what I want them to be, they don't look how I would want them to look. I hope that makes sense in some regard. And I probably still need to learn how to be okay with that, because obviously like these couches are just normal like cushion, like couch cushion. I don't know how to explain material, couch material, but they don't look like couch material. They look like this, I don't know, like a little bit roughed up, and I don't know. It makes it feel a little old somehow and used, and I kind of hate that. But that's just the style of the game, so I just need to learn to be okay with that, I think. And then, as you can see, the living room starts to slowly come together. So what I did was I put the couch, and then I put a little chair, and I felt like it made more sense to have the whole set be a bit more to the right, like closer to the big window instead of to the street. And then I placed some pictures next to the TV, and I put them in a, I don't know, in an order that I felt was cute. And then it was still a bunch of space left on the left side, and I wasn't really sure what to do there. So I decided, why not put an easel and put a bunch of plants like next to it. So that's kind of like a little artsy area, which my boyfriend could use because he is the more artsy kind of person. Like I don't really enjoy painting that much. I like singing, I like dancing. I leave the painting to other people though. And I like interior designing, so I guess I like most of the creative kind of things, but not painting or drawing. Like I'm not the best at that, sadly. And of course we can't miss the console. And while I was placing these, I also realized where the other things from one of the CC was that I downloaded, because I was trying to find it and I thought it was under clutter, but it was actually usable technology things, which is really cool. It's a um, retro technology pack, I think. So really really cool. And we are actually getting close to the end already, which is insane because I don't feel like I've been talking for 30 minutes, but probably I guess I did. So we're reaching the final touches. One thing I did not say or talk about was how in the bathroom in the top floor I used some shelves to put on the divider between the shower and the sink. I feel like that's a really cool thing to do. And then I could also put some clutter on that, but I didn't really do that yet. I feel like this house also still needs a bunch of clutter that I have not put. And of course, doing the final touches, we are placing a bunch of plants and flowers and just screening the space up a little more. And then I also had the idea to put bookshelves on this wall. First of all, from staircase to staircase, I decided to put a half wall there, which I thought was a genius idea because it looks really nice. And then I put bookcases in front of that as well. And then also put a few more plants in a few spaces where there was still space. I still felt like this corner was a little bit empty, but like I said, I didn't really know what to do there. And then I was done. I was done with this house. Wow. Um, yeah, crazy. This is my first real house in Paralives, and I love this lot. I think one thing that this game really has is the fact that this neighborhood is so nice. I think one thing that they should do in the future is make more nice neighborhoods and give lots like this that fuel your creativity. and then uh, good 10 out of 10. Like really, this being able to build in this lot and having to think about everything was insane, and I really enjoyed doing this. And I think I'm probably going to be building on this lot a bunch of times more, because I think this is the most exciting lot out of all of them in this game. So yeah, this was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. And as always, I hope you stay kind, stay balanced, and keep gaming. And we'll see each other in the next video. Bye, everyone.